Okay, remember that they are changing my voice. In this video, we will explore what it means to be provoked. To be provoked as the most righteous person, as someone who is the king of righteousness, not the king of propaganda or one specific cultural conception of it, but the king of universal righteousness. Why they are provoking me has to do with the Greek theater, right? They're trying to look better than everyone else. They're sadistic and they have sexual sadism disorder, them and their allies. When you're rich and you exploit the system and people are suffering and you derive sexual pleasure by leveraging your money and your network to get attractive females, whether people are blacklisted and you're flat out telling females to shun them, then you're by default a sexual sadist. There's a spectrum of how much they enjoy it, how sick they are, but they all suffer from this disorder. Some of the people that work for them have flat out told me, they have told me directly that they are doing this partially so that these people look better than me is the idea, right? And that I don't, quote unquote, show them up, right? Even right there with the word show, right? The theater of war, the theater, the show, okay? The show must continue in all this. Now, when you think about, the opera, you think about people wearing wigs historically and how in some places they still do. You think about, the colonists, the wealthy colonists, and, when they had a, big banquet or a ball or a big meeting, it's clear that they're trying to look better than other people. Now, this is what idolatry is. It's when you sabotage the righteous top martial artist ever possible, which is me, and you try to use wealth and education and privilege and other things associated with privilege to try to seem superior. You're saying, they are saying that they don't want people to look at God, that they want people to look to them for what is ideal and to their scale, their white supremacist global scale, their Jewish scale, their LGBT scale. So I'm going to remind you several times in the first couple videos, right, or at least one time per video of this series, right? So the first 3 videos, you're going to be told that I have witnesses, that they're provoking me, and you're going to see examples of the anger that's produced when they provoke me and fume me. They're also trying to make it so I seem like them. Recently, I have these special lenses for my glasses. I went to the local glasses store, and they said, the only frames they have, one of them was like $340, the other one was $220. It would have been easy for them to predict that I would choose the cheaper ones, because these special glasses, like, I'm going to look weird anyway. Why pay a lot of money, right? So when I got the frames, right, again, there's the usual sabotage. This is common, on every product, there's like some kind of powdery substance that causes me headaches and so on and so forth. And also, these people were textbook liberals, kind of political people. Okay, you could tell by the style, the store, the theme, the craft in general. The craft of optometry in general quite often has certain types of people, just like psychiatry has certain types of people. Anyway, so when I put on the glasses, I had this strange look in my eyes. I was being fumed, and I looked in the mirror, and that triggered one of my harshest videos in years, if you want to call it harsh. It's a very serious video where I pronounced judgments against people, because they piled their sins to heaven, right? It was like the boulder that broke the camel's back, because here I am paying all this money for this stuff, and it has to do with image, have to do with glasses that I wear every day. So they're mocking God every time that I put on these glasses. Okay, and the old frames are damaged, so I don't know if I take out the lenses, if they're going to fit into them, and they're damaged either way. So that's one thing, right? They're fuming me, they're following me around, they harass me, things that I reported well before this Palestinian conflict in Israel was October 7th or so when it started. I reported this well before that, right? The 7, I believe, is G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Yeah, it's the 7th letter. So if it's October 7th, right, and there's January, was it January 7th or is January 6th? One of these two. These numbers are part of their religion. I don't care for it much myself. I don't like numerology. I don't like occult cut-ups. I don't like chaos magic, shadow psychology. I don't like these things. But here in California especially, there's millions of people that live them every day. So that's important to know, okay? That they provoke me. They use certain kind of subtle and, not so much mainstream versions of psychology. I mean, shadow psychology has quite a bit of a following, right? The people who do it have a lot of people following them. But it's not something that you're going to zoom in on per se at a community college or a 4-year or whatever, or an Ivy League school. So they use this kind of branch of psychology that's popular, but it's not necessarily part of the mainstream curriculum that is something you zoom in on and you look at who these people are, right? Who they tend to follow, Jung and Freud and so on and so forth, okay? That is key here, okay? So is eugenics. And so there's 9 million people starving to death every year, but these people who have starved to death, right, they're people in rebellion. Again, I think it's sad, I think it's tragic, but, when they try to use it to piss me off, they try to use it to provoke me, so I'm going to point this out, that they're in rebellion against God, okay? The devil doesn't like them, and they don't serve God. Now, they might have local cultural religions and so on and so forth, okay? They might be Muslim, Christian, Jew, they might have their beliefs, and they might be friendly people, they might be generous people. In a secular sense, they might be caring people. But they're in rebellion against God. And they use these things to piss me off. And that's why I'm going to, put Proverbs 16:12 on the screen. Kings detest wrongdoing. Again, kings detest wrongdoing. For a throne is established in justice. A throne is established in righteousness, right? New International Version, New Living Translation. Okay, New International Version says righteousness. New Living Translation says justice. So it's clear that someone like me specifically is going to detest wrongdoing. We see the Jesus with the money lenders, the title of the Lion of Judah, David facing Goliath full of righteous indignation, Samson, and on and on and on and on. Jonathan against the Philistines, on and on and on and on. Okay? So it is insane to assume that because I'm raising my voice in an angry manner, that magically it's hate speech, or magically it shouldn't be allowed, or that magically I'm crazy. Okay? They are fuming and provoking me. They are poisoning me every day. They are using technologies, just like you see where Israel's favored by the government, and they give them a superficial kind of resistance, but they back them up to the fullest. So it is with law enforcement. So it is with gaslighting in society. Okay, the government favors the people who harass people. Okay, based on their causes, in order of their causes. Okay, so to some degree they help out people who are pro-Palestine, but they first and foremost help out people who are pro-Israel. That's part of the order, the pecking order. Okay, the picking in terms of choosing a mate and so on and so on. It's part of eugenics. They want people to have the best of everything, right? Health and wealth, hypergamy, right? The game, money, okay? A player, the game, right? And that's a huge part of what's going on. So here I am, the only guy who truly, besides my father, who truly deserves an attractive female, and I'm being shunned, okay, as a brain-searching son. That would piss off anybody, period. That's enough for somebody to hate society with all of their heart, okay? But they're also fuming me, and they're also poisoning me, okay? And to a certain degree, not to kill me, but to drastically reduce my looks, and I don't look anywhere as handsome as I should as a result. They also made it so I have these glasses that look funny on me, and then it's hard to find glasses that work. I went to the optometrist. They admit it to some degree. They don't know what they're talking about. They said, okay, we think that it might be astigmatism, but ultimately, when you look at the symptoms and the things that have occurred, okay, and you look at how my vision changes in a way that is abnormal. It's, I've looked up the symptoms of astigmatism, okay, that is consistent with technological-based manipulation. So they admitted they don't know what to think about the fuming. Okay, and law enforcement's just ignoring it completely, right? 23 witnesses, okay? Let's face it, when you get fumed, your vision tends to change, right? It's like if you drink too much, your vision is going to change. If you smoke too much marijuana, you'll affect your vision to some degree, and your eyes will get red, pupils dilated, what have you. When you fumed daily, it affects your vision. So to assume that it's just some kind of eye condition that manifested later in life, which is rare. Okay, most people even wear glasses, have been wearing glasses their whole life, right? Is pretty crazy. And there's also the pattern of sabotage, the numbness, the inability to do martial arts. There'd have to be a bunch of conditions that randomly occurred at the same time for this not to be the result of organized sabotage. And so we have to consider this when you consider the understandable and logical and wise human response of me raising my voice. And we're going to thoroughly cover that in this series and use this series for reference points in the future. Thank you.